pleasure to be here, and certainly we've had a long history with North Shore Country Club. I'm a Glenview resident, born and raised here originally, so it's nice to come back home here to do some work. I actually caddied at the club here in the early 1970s, so I've pretty much come full circle from when I was a youngster to an old man here. But it's been a tremendous opportunity to be a part of the project team. I've started my career at the University of Wisconsin with a landscape architecture background and got into the golf industry upon graduation, and it's been over 35 years and 27 years of having my own company, and almost that entire time being involved here at North Shore Country Club with putting together strategic preservation plans to guide the club through the process of restoring and renovating the golf course over time. So it's really been a labor of love for me to come back and be a part of the project team.
So Rick, tell us a little bit about the project. You know, each project's unique, each facility is unique. What made North Shore Country Club's project special?
Well, it was the scope of the project was broad in nature, and I think the combination of enhancing the functionality of the golf course features and the preservation and restoration of the historical context were I think very special in this project. So what we pick up from an old photograph like this is this. You can see this, how the green swung around this back corner, and then on our plan we tried to do the same thing with this expansion on the back here. Mm-hmm. So that's how we were trying to use some of these different historical photographs and use what we were able to pick up from them and then implement them into the plan. The greens were the main component of the project, and the reconstruction to USGA specification, using a lot of the new technology with variable depth, and the soil amendments that were used will really add to the functionality long term. This is a generational club. It's stood the test of time for nearly a century now, and this is a project that will serve the members for a long time, and it will truly give them the best opportunity to have top quality playing conditions. What we did with the greens, we preserved and retained some of those old tuck pin placement areas, again, to add interest and variety in the way the golf course can be set up.
that's connected to the drainage system to offer like a slow weeping drain of the root zone mix, drawing in that capillary water. Now the 4 inches of pea gravel, I got the finest pea gravel that would meet
We expanded the project to include the surrounds and the bunkers. So the bunkers were lined with better billy bunker. Subsurface drainage was installed, and new sand was installed, high quality white sand that will provide consistent playability. And on the bunker edges, we did an in-depth study of a lot of the photographs of old Colt Allison golf courses. And we established I always like to flash their sand high on the bunkers for visibility, but they like to have irregular shapes, more naturalized look to the bunkers. So we did a lot of sketches to evaluate the types of bunkers that they had done over time, and we used that as a model to apply to the new bunkers. Like the old number 3 hole had a huge bunker with a lot of movement and irregular shape in it, and we actually traced on a photograph that sand line and kind of used that as a model, if you will, of how we may be able to adjust some of the sand lines to the current day bunkers to reflect more of that historical context from back in the 1930s. And then we regrassed the approaches so that we have nice, hard, firm, and fast playing conditions, and have collection areas, fairway collection areas adjacent to the greens, and roll-off areas that tie into the contours of the putting surfaces. So if you miss a green, you may catch one of those slopes, and you may find yourself with a delicate little chip shot. And there will be multiple ways in which you can play those recovery shots, so that's, again, is going to add interest to the round of golf. And then on 11 of the holes, we manipulated the tees. We added some tees, and we added them in different locations so that they accommodate all the different levels of golfers here at the North Shore. The juniors, the seniors, the high handicappers, low handicappers. Again, to provide elasticity and length for the golf course and variety in the way the course can be set up. Number 10 was off to the left. What we did was we took the spoils from the green excavation of the core of the new green, and we deposited those in areas, non-play areas throughout the golf course. They were strategically located close to a grouping of green complexes so that we weren't hauling from one side of the course to the other. But this is a concept drawing showing how we wanted it to be shaped so that they were soft, flowing landforms that fit in with the golf course. Then we took the old bunker sand and we capped it so that we provided a kind of a dry microclimate to be planted with fescue, which is would be a more favorable growing condition to keep the fescue thin. In case an errant shot did go in there, you'd be able to find your ball and be able to play out of the landform.
What were some of the adjustments that we made as part of the project as it pertains to the fairways?
Yeah, so here's the original fairway line, and they didn't really swing out and frame, so to speak, the adjacent bunkers. So we swung them out and then turned them back in and tied them into the existing line. But with that effect, it sets up the green side bunkers much better. And part of the intent with the Cole Allison design was to minimize areas that would stop an errant shot from rolling into a hazard. So we've reduced the amount of rough in that area and swung the fairways out in front of the bunkers. And we applied that concept throughout the golf course.
Including fairway bunkers.
Correct. So this is one of the more dramatic renovations to the putting surface. You can see this is the original edge of the green, and this is how far we brought it out back on an existing landform. And again, this was the original fill pad from when the course was originally built, and all we did was expand the green out onto that pad. But now look at the opportunities for tuck pin placements over in this area over the right green side bunker. We expanded it slightly back left, again bringing the left green side bunker more into play.
10 was another one. We recaptured about, what, 4,000 square feet in the back?
Yeah, so here's the original, or the original green edge, and then we expanded it out to the fill pad that was existing. Absolutely, and now you've got a tuck pin placement back left. We've got a fairway collection area on the front left here in the low that dips out in front of the bunkers. And that low provides a window into that bunker when you're out in the tee shot landing area. So it's both functional from a sightline standpoint, and again adds, if you come up short left on this green, you've got another delicate fairway collection area recovery shot.
The practice putting green, they see that we altered the putting green configuration a little bit to salvage the oak tree.
And then we provided a nice fairway connection to number 1 tee. So I think that's a really nice feature to introduce the golfers to the new North Shore Country Club, showing that feature and that connection right at the start of your round.
Which also meant relocating the cart path.
The cart path loops around
And then
this way and then around the right side of number 1 tee.